Los Jaijackers is
Phonetic,
and
it's spelled phonetic.
it's spelled phonetically, and it refers to hijackers as in cultural hijackers and
Black
media
market,
hijackers.
yes.
How, you know, to take something and basically make it yours, and maybe, you know, in some
Yeah, but
ways,
also like out of necessity.
The name too, like, I'm a big fan of refrito music, which is like Mexican bands that did American rock and roll, and a lot of their bands were like called Los Psychos or Los Zeros and Los Shanes. And to me, it was cool because it was like, well, here's an art project that we want to approach as if we're like a band. You know what I mean? The intersection of art and music in subcultures has always been really interesting to me, because you start with nothing and you have to create your own audience, and you have to push that thing along, and your own imagery and everything. And so that kind of like it seemed natural to be like, hey, let's name this collaboration like a band. It's with that sentiment of like by necessity to grab things and not worry about ownership so much. And so in that way, it's like cultural.
I got a frantic call from Eamon, and Eamon's like, "Hey, check this out." I don't know if you were there.
I found them. I was riding my bike
downtown.
Downtown at Placita Olivera, down towards my studio, and I heard the music, and it sounded amazing because it was kind of reggaeton, but then they would switch it really quick into cumbia and then into some rock song. And it was kind of echoing off of the buildings, and I kind of found my way over to where it was, and it was the LA Boys, and it was all these kids, and they had all these groupies, these girls, these like elementary school girls around them. So I was like, wow, these guys are amazing. And I was just like, if there's any way we could ever do it, I want to work with these guys to do something. And then when Phantom Sightings came up, Julio said, hey, how about if we bring in this idea of having them involved in it? And then that's when I had mentioned doing Migrant Dubs, which then we kind of melded it with what you had done earlier with Perez Prado, your project
and the recordings, you know, from the Dilo record that we worked on together. Based on Perez Prado, who invented mambo music, and so it was a natural progression to work on this project.
Yeah, we kind of took the same structure from that project, the idea of the sound room, but we updated it to fit, you know, the idea of a migrant studio for people who are migrant. The LA Boys are American kids, but their parents are from Mexico, so that kind of fit into the kind of psychology of it.
Right, and also that they're a boy band.
Yeah.
One of the most exciting parts is that we get to travel before the show opens in every city that it's going to. And so the idea that we had is that, you know, again, this migrant studio, that we're the studio, and we travel and we find these sort of underground or, you know, under the peripheral kind of Latino bands, but, you know, playing in a huge different types of genres, from, you know, LA Boys to punk to electronic maybe, to cumbia band, I don't know. We don't know what we're finding. So one of the main things from this project is that we choose a series of songs, and so we present these series of songs to the people we would collaborate with. And they're basically covers. And again, just kind of going back to the idea of translation and culture and you know, changing something from, you know, late 70s British rock. Into like Smog or David Bowie from 1974.
Yeah.
So originally with the LA Boys, we gave them some music, and the ones that Eamon described, Maria Daniela and Smog, and they actually said they would love to work with us, but they had to change, well, they couldn't play those songs because they didn't agree with the lyric content.
The Smog one, they didn't, there was no argument there, but I think the Miedo song by Maria Daniela, it was definitely risque, and so they
altered the lyrics, just like the other cumbia style of Another Brick in the Wall, where like it has nothing to do with the original. You know, so it's like, it's about cultural sampling in a way. To us, since Eamon grew up in Arizona, I grew up in Tijuana and San Diego, that whole idea of morphing of different cultures and different musical ideas that have always been there, and to see it actually being played and us being involved with it, I think is really fantastic. Self-identified, you know, and so there's different ways in which people kind of play around with that idea. I mean, you know, is Chicano just Mexican, or is it, you know, Peruvian? So it's interesting context because, you know, there's going to be some amazing work. Like, I always love the work of Osco. So it's great to start from there into what's happening now and how Latino or Latino-based artists are sort of playing with the idea of, you know, I would say post-Chicano, post-identity issues.
Yeah.